Hello, I'm Roisin Hastie with the BBC News. The group of 7 wealthiest nations have condemned what it says as sham referendums being held in parts of Ukraine to decide whether they want to join Russia. The group called the votes, which are being organised by Moscow-backed officials, a breach of the United Nations Charter. Here's the White House Press Secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre.
As we said in today's G7 leader statement, the United States will never recognize this territory or as anything other than part of Ukraine. We stand with our partners around the world in rejecting whatever fabricated outcomes Russia announces. We will continue to stand firmly with the people of Ukraine and continue to provide them with historic amounts of security assistance to help them defend their territory, to help them defend their freedom.
A team of human rights experts assigned by the United Nations has concluded that Russian forces have committed war crimes in Ukraine. The Independent Commission of Inquiry said it had found evidence of bombings of civilian areas, numerous executions, torture and sexual violence, including against children. At a news conference in Geneva, the Commission's chair, Eric Mose, explained how the evidence had been collected.
The Commission has visited 27 towns and settlements and has interviewed more than 150 victims and witnesses. We have inspected sites of destruction, graves, places of detention and torture, as well as weapon remnants. Based on the evidence gathered by the Commission, it has concluded that war crimes have been committed in Ukraine.
The United States says it will ease internet restrictions to allow Iranians greater access to services curbed by the Tehran government as it tries to stamp out protests. The US Treasury said it wanted to increase internet freedom to counter the Iranian government's surveillance and censorship. Britain's Chancellor of the Exchequer, or Finance Minister, Kwasi Kwarteng, has defended the government's plans to boost the economy, insisting the massive tax cuts aimed at boosting economic growth are fair for all. After Mr Kwarteng announced the measures, Britain's currency hit a 37-year low. Here's Faisal Islam.
It is an unofficial budget of staggering size designed to jumpstart the economy. But there's never a free lunch in economics. And through the course of today, currency and debt markets have taken fright as a combination of the Truss government's economic strategy, the lack of detail and forecasts in the plan for growth, and the general economic backdrop. A budgetary statement has not in living memory seen a 3% slump in sterling and record daily surges in borrowing costs for government on the same day. For a Chancellor making his debut announcement, it has been a brutal baptism in the markets.
World News from the BBC. The world's longest-running head of state, President Teodoro Obiang of Equatorial Guinea, will run for office again in elections due to be held in November. His son, Vice President Teodoro Nguema Obiang Mange, said that his father had been nominated due to his charisma, leadership and political experience. A Colombian dissident group which rejected the 2016 peace deal with the country's largest guerrilla movement, the FARC, has said it's prepared to stop its attacks against government forces to help ceasefire talks. In a video, an unnamed leader of the dissident faction said all its units had been ordered to avoid clashes with the security forces as long as they were not attacked. America's top diplomat, Antony Blinken, and his Chinese counterpart, Wang Yi, have discussed Taiwan on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. It was their first encounter since the Speaker of the US House of Representatives visited the island in August, infuriating Beijing. More from Neda Taufik.
According to a senior administration official, the U.S. Secretary of State stressed to China's state counselor Wang Yi that there had been no change to the U.S.'s long-standing One China policy. That's Washington's position of strategic ambiguity regarding Taiwan. Mr. Blinken made clear that the maintenance of peace and security across the Taiwan Strait was vitally important and that the U.S. opposed steps to change the status quo, a reference to staged exercises by Beijing seen as a trial run for an invasion of the self-governing democracy.
The Swiss tennis star Roger Federer is playing the final professional match of a career that's seen him win 20 Grand Slam titles. Federer, who's 41, announced last week that he was retiring. He's appearing in London for Team Europe in the Laver Cup, playing doubles alongside his longtime rival Rafael Nadal. They're leading Team World's Jack Sock and Francis Tiafoe by 1 set. BBC News.